How's it going, everybody? On that beautiful note. So MJ's back. He's with us. And Justin and I, as always, last week sucked, guys. Last week really sucked. Maybe not for you, Justin, but it really sucked. I hated it so much.
You know when you do a parlay and you're usually like, oh, like one game off, and you're like, oh, I missed it by a point or a touchdown or something. I had 4 parlays where I got one right and everything else inside of it was completely wrong.
That's one of those you're like, I might not bet again like the next couple of weeks. Like when you're so
I lost
bad
quite a few bets. I lost quite a few bets by either a point or a half a point. The Purdue thing screwed me. Pitt screwed me. Oklahoma State looked like it was an easy cover. Nothing. And then, of course, the one time I bet on a Mizzou game that's not betting for them, they end up playing so great that they cover. I don't understand. So it was a real bad week for me, but I'm looking to rebound this week, and I need to because my funds are dangerously low.
Yeah, I talked to your bookie, Kevin. He needs to have a word with you.
Yeah, anyway, you should be taking 15% off the top or something.
Oh, but, taxes will be eliminated out of it.
That's true. The Missouri one for the longest time looked like it was going to hit, and then they just started pulling away, and I was like, oh crap.
Well, like I said, I was at that game, and like about midway through the second quarter, they decided, okay, we actually have a very packed stadium for once. Maybe we should play well. But
these things happen. I had a massive parlay, so that was nice.
You did. Claps for you. You did hit a massive parlay. That's beautiful.
And then doubled down. So it was like you got a free, if it was like up to $25, you put on a parlay, and whether you won or lost, it was basically a free parlay. You got another 25 in bonus cash. So I put the bonus cash right back on Georgia Tech.
Josh Allen got murdered.
Did he? No. Is he all right?
Yeah.
But yeah, I put it on Georgia
you
Tech
have him, don't you?
And then got that doubled up. So I bumped my bankroll up like crazy this past week.
Oh, by the way, I have to share this. You guys will appreciate it because we're in the same fantasy league. I was driving to Philly for like a golf weekend the night of our draft for like the Harrisburg one. And obviously I couldn't do the draft because I was focusing on, Route 95 and not ranking in anything. So my good buddy Brendo is in the passenger seat, phone's plugged in. We have the computer up just in case we like lose reception. And he's like reading all the picks off to me, what's available, like for 2 hours, like literally was like my guy.
Fantastic. That's a good friend.
And rolling. But the one that killed me was like our second or third, it was our 3rd round pick. I was 6 picks away from it being my turn. And that's generally when everybody knows who they're picking. So it's like moving quick. Right. And we hit the tunnel by Baltimore. And I'm having him queue up as many things as possible. And we hit the tunnel and it's deadlock traffic. And I'm like,
oh no.
I'm like, this is going to be awful. It's going to get to me. I guarantee the people I've queued up. We pull out as the phone goes, like to let me know it's my pick. So I appreciate everyone in front of me taking their good old time to get to that.
It honestly was a pretty slow draft. So that was,
it was
people were like safe.
No, but after like this, after your team is full, he's got to knock it down to like 30-second rounds.
Yeah, I always draft quickly because I just go crazy with mock drafts the 3 weeks before. So I'm like, I have like 5 players. If you're listening,
Missouri, that is why nothing is getting done at Kevin's job.
Hey, it's fine. the students just came back. We can ease into this. So good weeks for you, Justin, and MJ. You did pretty decent, I think, and then. MJ, you and I both lost our locks. Justin and Ryan both won theirs.
I just put a placeholder for MJ's because I didn't know what it is. I don't think.
And I also, Kevin, just
right.
The season, and you can hold me to this. This is being recorded. I will never bet an under, ever.
Dude, it's almost impossible to bet an under in college anyway. I kind of agree with that.
We're gonna like my one bet this week then.
All right. So the one parlay that I really blew it on was last week, and this was going off the trend of what I was betting, was I took the over in the Colorado State Michigan game at 61. Naturally, they scored 58. I took Iowa -10. They won 7-3.
They suck.
They are horrible. Dude,
and then that was classic Big Ten football.
And I took the over for Texas A&M and Sam Houston, you think that'll get out of hand?
Nope.
31-0.
Mm-hmm.
Could've
They're
been
one
Iowa.
of my unders this week.
Iowa plays some of the sloppiest football, and yet they pull out these stupid wins. It's ridiculous.
No, nothing's sloppy football. Nothing's going to top that LSU game.
Dude,
That was
real
rough.
quick. If Iowa got even a half good quarterback, they'd probably like be fighting to win the Big Ten.
Highly ranked.
Well, spend a little more money on the NIL deals, and you'd have that.
They just
Arkansas is making. Arkansas is killing it on the NIL deals because of Walmart being down there and Walmart like shelling out money to these players.
Yeah.
Well, dude,
dude.
Well, the thing is, that's like everyone's getting mad at Texas and Texas A&M. I forget where. It might have been Forbes. I forget where I read the stat, but I believe it's Texas A&M has 8 registered billionaires in their boosters club.
Oof, I was wondering where we were going with
that. Like 8 registered billionaires. It's like, all right. So
I'm sure there's some other registrants as well.
Yeah, I'm sure, but that's like all they have to do is, hey, we want this quarterback from X state. They go to their boosters. Someone find him a sponsorship. All right, I own a heating company that he can do a commercial for that. We'll give him $1 million. Like,
yeah,
it's absurd.
Yeah.
Like the kid
It's
for South Carolina, I think he's the starting quarterback. I think he's from California.
Rattler?
Oh, yeah.
No, not Rattler. Sorry. Not who did he go to play for?
USC, Caleb Williams.
Tall, skinny kid with braids. I mean, I've been watching his videos all summer from the camps he's been at. He's made $8 million and he's yet to throw a pass in college.
Oh, wait, he's still in high school, right? I forget his name. His last name is crazy. It's like Nico something.
Yeah, but he's made $8 million.
Yeah, he's made a ton.
But what's really fun, but that's what's really fun about these NIL deals is that it's like some players aren't just going to go to Alabama to go to Alabama. They're gonna be like, oh, Arkansas, I can get all this money from Walmart or whatever. I'm going to go be a Razorback.
Well, dude, I just heard of this. It was at Penn State. I can't say what sport it is or who it was, but the person was going into their senior year and was offered like $250,000 to transfer somewhere, and basically went to their athletic team and said, hey, like, this is life-changing money. Especially where I'm coming from. What can you guys do? And Penn State just doubled it immediately.
Okay.
Fair. So he was like, all right, I'm staying here.
What can you do? You can do that. All right.
He's like, do I even try to go back to the other school now?
Well, that's
anyway. It's like,
you're
do I
going
go
to
and
start
negotiate
seeing
again?
bidding wars.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
I don't care what anyone says. Like, I know that video came out last week of Deion Sanders coaching the quarterback for Jackson State. The kid that was supposed to go to Florida State, but they flipped. Yeah. And they're saying it's a relationship. He wanted to go there because of Deion. That may be 5% of it. Well, 95% of it is $3 million in the bank, and you're taken care of as long as.
And you go to Jackson State, where you're going to look like God.
Yeah,
that helps. That helps.
And the other thing, people were griping like last year and the year before they're like Mizzou should move back to the Big 12 and play like Kansas and all those rivals, and they'd be more competitive. And I'm like, okay, but all the SEC money we get that we can now give to players.
Well, did you see the new Big Ten contract?
Insane.
No wonder everybody's trying to join the Big Ten.
Yeah. All right, well, let's get into these games, boys. Our games of the week this week, we're going to start with so like Justin said last week, we've now split it to, we have 3 college games of the week and 3 NFL games. By the way, over looks so dead right now, boys. 17 points in the Buffalo Rams game right now.
Over is
so
dead.
That's what was that? Ugh.
Josh Allen threw another pick at midfield, and
the TV behind me does work.
It's just it's a whole mess. Nothing's going.
It's not worth turning on, MJ. Let me just say that. First game though, we're going to start with our 3 college ones. Kentucky at Florida. Florida is favored -5, over under 52.5. Justin, what is your pick?
So my pick is, hold on, my battery's dying. My pick is Kentucky +5. And
interesting.
Actually, you know what? I'm going to leave it at that for a second. Let me plug in my computer. You go ahead and say yours.
Okay. Mine is Florida -5. I weighed this game back and forth quite a bit because the last couple of years I've had the chance to see both these teams play in person, and Kentucky is still kind of underwhelming to me. I think that they take a big step forward this year, but I also think Tennessee does too, which is going to overshadow Kentucky. And as far as the SEC goes, I still think they're, kind of a lower ranked team. Florida is absolutely hungry after that dogfight they had in week 1 versus Utah. I think they want to have a much more convincing win to show that this new non-Dan Mullen era is for real. So I'm going to go Florida -5 here. I think that's the safer pick, especially because it's, under a touchdown. So why do you have +5, Justin?
All right, yeah, so I'm back now. So the +5 basically, so Florida somehow jumps from unranked to number 12 just for beating number 7.
That was a lot. Yeah, that was a lot.
I don't really like
was a lot.
preseason rankings anyway, too, because like you don't know how these teams are coming in. The
You have
rankings
no
really
clue.
for the first
Yeah.
4
Oregon
weeks
looked,
don't
Oregon
really
looked
mean
great.
anything. Exactly.
Yeah,
Is
exactly.
the number
Oregon
11
was
team
so
in the
good.
country? Is Notre Dame
Yeah.
who can only score 10 points? Are they the number 5 team? Like, I don't know that that's really, something to look at. But I think that before the season, if you looked at Kentucky, Florida, Kentucky would have been favored by 5 or 6. But just based on kind of what happened there, Florida beat quote unquote number 7. Now it's looking like they're good. If you really look at it though, Florida or Utah fumbled on the goal line there. Utah should have won that game. They fumbled on the goal line, and in the last seconds there, when they could have kicked a field goal to tie it, their quarterback just throws an interception in the end zone. So like they had 2 opportunities to win by like 10.
And I think that's all the more reason I think Florida will win.
Yeah, and I mean
they want a convincing win now.
If it were 3, I'd probably go Florida, but since it's 5, I think it's going to be a field goal game. I think Kentucky can keep it close enough. Their defense is just as good as Utah's, if not better. In their offense, I think is just as good as Utah's, if not better. So I think they'll keep it.
I don't know about that. I think Utah is a better team than Kentucky, but who knows? It's early.
Yeah.
MJ, what do you got?
I think I have them -5 too, Kev.
You do. You have Florida, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. That game was like Justin just made some great points. That game was all over the place last week. It shouldn't have been that close. But that's a great win for Florida. Again, because Utah was 7.
Yeah.
So that's
7.
a big win for them. That gives them like a good running path going into the season. So if they can keep it up, that's going to be one of their marquee wins. Even if Utah continues to fall, it's still when they beat them, they were number 7. So like I said, and Kentucky, I feel like Kentucky is the who are they? They are the Minnesota of their conference.
Yeah.
Like when you look at Minnesota in the Big Ten, they're always competitive. Like last year, they had a great year, but
some good playmakers.
But nothing you're afraid of. Like they're not. I think Florida. I think Florida wins by double digits in this game.
I definitely think it's probably a 10-point win too. Yeah.
Yeah. I just think Florida, that was a huge win. There's going to be a lot of momentum, and they're going to want to show that it wasn't a fluke win.
When I tell you last year at the Mizzou Florida game, people were any Florida fan there was joining the Mizzou fans in chanting for Dan Mullen's head. And they are so happy to have a new avenue and a new path to go down. So
don't worry. That's coming at Nebraska shortly.
How is it not already? How is Frost still employed? That man. Oh God. I went off on that last week. Just horrible.
That was just so bad.
Ryan agrees with you though, Justin. He went Kentucky +5, and I'm gonna just give a little bit of his reasoning here. Where are we at here? Here we go. Florida pulls out a great win over number 7 Utah, and they're riding high. However, Kentucky actually, even though they were struggling against Miami of Ohio, he said if we looked at this game before week 1, Kentucky would likely be favored. So Justin, he agrees with you there. He thinks that +5 is a gift for Kentucky, who could win outright in the swamp. He's going Kentucky in what should be a close one, thinking they have a better defense and that the offense is only a little bit below Utah. So it should end within 5 points, he thinks.
Just so that you know, that's mine. I typed that.
Oh, dude, I'm sorry. I thought that was Ryan's.
No, you're good. I was just typing in the itinerary thing because I was just keeping my notes.
Oh, because he typed
I don't know where he
last
put his.
Oh, maybe he didn't.
Yeah, I don't know if he did or not, but
I'm gonna assume he agrees with you anyway.
Obviously,
because he went +5. So
those will all be mine though.
Okay, then I'm just gonna ignore those now.
Yeah.
Next game though, Tennessee -6.5 at Pitt, over under 66.5. I'm actually really looking forward to this game. Pitt had truly a backyard brawl with West Virginia, which I'll fully admit I was not expecting West Virginia to actually put up as much of a fight as they did. They look pretty darn good against this
But
Pittsburgh team.
that's the importance of those rivalry games, man.
Right.
I mean,
Right.
you could be and
brings out the
whatever
dog in
rolling
you,
into
yeah.
the number one team in the country. If that's your rival, you're still going to play them hard.
Yeah. Regardless, I have Tennessee -6.5 here. I think that they can win by 10 or more against Pitt. I'm still not sold on Pitt's new quarterback, how their new offense is being run. They still look shaky, even though they pulled out that win against West Virginia. Nothing that impresses me. Tennessee dominated their first game against, a cupcake team, but they, I think they're an all-around better squad anyway. I think they're actually going to move up in the SEC this year. So give me Tennessee -6.5. MJ, what do you got?
This is my upset of the week. I'm taking Pitt money line.
Pitt outright, huh?
Pitt outright.
All right.
Here, two reasons why. Again, huge win to start off the year, beating your rival in the backyard brawl. That was also a very fun game to watch.
It was a fun game.
But two, and my betting app can prove this without a shadow of a doubt. The past 3 years, anytime Tennessee football is involved in any single bet I do or any parlay bet, they are the reason it doesn't win. And it's I bet you if we looked at the statistics, 90% of the time I put my faith in either them covering outright on a money line or on an over, and they have single-handedly killed multiple parlays. So I don't care if they destroyed the team they played last week. I have zero faith in them until they can string it together for multiple weeks in a row, and then I might consider showing them love at all.
That's fair.
It's a history that I'm not thrilled with.
Justin, what do you got?
They're my Oklahoma. Every time I bet 4 against Oklahoma, I'm like, oh, super. But no, I have Tennessee -6.5. I considered the over 66.5. The last time these teams played,
That's
I think
such a
last year.
high point.
Yeah, I think they had like 80 something last time they played, but
Justin, remember the Red River shootout 2 years ago? When
I almost won that if it wasn't for the quadruple overtime.
Intense. Yeah,
that
was
they
intense.
had 50 combined points with 3 minutes left and finished with 91 combined.
I think the
Well, what
over
did
was
App
like
State do this past
like
week?
72,
the order App State was 63,
61 or something
Yeah.
like
No,
that.
but like,
Yeah.
what was the record like in the fourth quarter? Like over
They
40
scored they scored 40. It was 40 to
It's
nothing.
just
in
so
the fourth
crazy, dude. It's
Um,
just so crazy.
But yeah, no,
Oh.
I've Tennessee. I think that with West Virginia being able to put up 31 on Pitt, West Virginia's offense is not as good as Tennessee's. Hendon Hooker's better than JT Daniels, and so I just think that Tennessee offensively can score more than West Virginia did. Defensively, I think they're a little bit better than West Virginia, and Slovis didn't look that good against West Virginia, honestly. So yeah, I think I want to go -6.5, so I'm going to do that. I would consider the over, but I'm afraid that Narduzzi is going to try to ground and pound it a little bit more after seeing what Slovis had last game. So I think it could probably be a little bit lower scoring than traditional matchups between them.
Ryan seems to go against you here. He took the over 66.5. He thinks it's going to be a high scoring game. So we'll see how that goes. All three bets out there on the line. Bama and Texas. This is actually, I really, really love this game, and I'm really excited for it. Justin, Texas was your Big 12 winner, if I'm not mistaken. So I originally was going to go Texas +20, but this over is too good not to take with these two teams. I think both these teams are going to put up a lot of points. Texas is hosting this game, and it's a Texas team that's a little bit more reinvigorated than they were in the past. Fans are going to be way behind them. It's going to be kind of as crazy as Arkansas was last week. These fans love their football. So I'm going over 64.5. I think they both score a lot of points. I do think Bama comes out with the win, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Texas ends up covering. MJ?
I took the over on this, but in a parlay, I took them +20. So, yeah, I think, I know it's way early in the season, but this is the perfect definition of a trap game. I think Alabama could easily overlook Texas because they've been so bad for so long. But I think, like you said, I think they're rejuvenated in Texas because they flipped that quarterback from Ohio State, right? Yeah. That was huge.
They got a lot of
Quinn
excitement.
Ewers.
Yeah. And he last week with his Aston Martin getting towed during the game, probably one of the funniest things I've ever read. But yeah, no, I think on our bet slate, I took the over, and then another parlay I took plus 20. So either way on both those bets, I think they're pretty much 100% locks. But I would not be surprised if this game's, within a touchdown. Just the way it's at Texas, they're going to sell out the stadium. This is going to be a huge game.
Yeah, I can see it either way. I wanted to do Bama minus 20. I was just afraid that I do think the Texas is better this year, and I think that they can score a little bit with Alabama. But I like the 64.5. I think Alabama, I don't know if there's any team in the country that's going to hold them to under 42 this year. Like, they're just insane. Their offense is crazy.
Yeah.
Bryce Young, he might win another Heisman, which he's not going to, just because they don't do back-to-back normally, but he had 6 touchdowns last week in like a half.
He's a stud.
So it's just, the Alabama's insane.
I mean,
but
he
I'm
won't
gonna do
translate
the
to
over.
an NFL quarterback, but he'll have a great college career.
I hope he does.
No.
Hope he does.
Alabama.
I don't think he looks like.
I don't know the last good one they put out.
Yeah, but I think he's different. I think him and CJ Stroud, this is like one of the better quarterback drafts, I think, coming up this year than that we've ever had.
That's
at
all
least
right.
in the past
the best
couple
QB
years.
ever was drafted.
Yeah, you guys reached for Kenny Pickett 2 rounds early this year, so that's exciting.
I still stand by.
You
Do you think Pittsburgh called him and said, "Hey, can you just walk down to the stadium? We're not sending a car to come get you."
They
Why
could have
not?
said it in round
You're in
2
the
or
other
3
locker
as
room.
well.
Just hang. Yeah.
Malik Willis
So
went
you're
2
going
rounds
over.
after him.
Ryan went Bama minus 20. Here's
I
the
can see
thing.
it.
It's Dave Portnoy, Barstool Sports, always says never bet against Nick Saban. Like, it's like the number one mortal sin of betting.
You don't make
to
money
go against Nick
betting.
Saban.
Yeah.
You don't make money. And it's like,
But you're not betting against Nick Saban. Like, you're still saying Bama's going to win. I could see Bama going up by even if they go up by a ton and they pull everyone, Texas still could get within 20.
I think Texas covers. Yeah, I think Texas covers. But again, if there's one team that could drop 20 on even a more high octane team like Texas, it'd be Bama. So who knows? Maybe Ryan sees something we don't.
Do you have
so
any
yeah,
other? And I was gonna say, before we go to the NFL games, do we
yeah.
want to just do whatever our other college picks are, if anyone has any?
I just have
know
one
you
more
don't.
college pick.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I only have a small slate this week because I need to regain some steam. I have the over in Mizzou and Kansas State over 56.5. I love what I saw out of Mizzou last week. I think this new offense is so good. Luther Burden is awesome, and he will remain at Mizzou, Justin. I don't want to hear that crap about him transferring to another school. Luther Burden wants to stay in state.
What did we bet? 550?
No, not 500.
Whoa,
We bet like 50. We
50?
bet 50.
Okay, I forget what it was.
Take a zero away, buddy. We didn't bet $500.
That tells you the status of my financial responsibility right now. Was it 500? We
You're
bet
about to have a
50,000?
kid, dude. You need to
5,000?
reel that in.
Justin, I just remember many text messages in our group of you had some wild rides of weekends.
Yeah,
just ups
Jeremy
and downs.
Jeremy and I would buy or would bet $100 every first play of every drive.
Yeah, the freaking
One run
first
or
run
pass.
or whatever. Yeah.
Run pass, $100, 50-50 shot. Just every single drive. Just chase the run.
I can't
anyway,
wait, Justin, until you have to feed your child at like 3 a.m. and Lisa comes downstairs and you're betting on like overseas ping pong at 3
I'm going to be. I'm definitely going to be.
But yeah, Mizzou K-State, the over. Kansas State is one of my dark horses with the Big 12. I think they take a big step forward this year. So I think there's a lot of points in this game, and unfortunately, I think Kansas State probably wins. But I like the over here. That's my only other college game.
Yeah, I have BYU -3 at home against Baylor. I know Ryan hates it. He loves Baylor in this. I think BYU is one of my dark horses to be the 4 seed in the college football playoff. I think their schedule is so easy. They have a bunch of overrated ranked teams that they're playing. And I think this kind of just starts that trend there. I love their quarterback. And it's in BYU. I like BYU -3 there. The under that I was talking about, App State A&M. I know App State just scored 61 on North Carolina. A&M's defense is 1,000 times better than North Carolina's. And
it's way
A&M could
different.
only score 31 against, who do we say it was? I forget who they even played. They played some like FCS school.
Oh, South Dakota. No, that was Iowa. No, they played Sam Houston. Sam
Houston, exactly.
Sam Houston.
So,
That's
yeah,
right.
they
Yeah, but
scored
Sam
30.
Houston got a $500,000 to show up, so I do the same thing.
Yeah, they scored
Yeah.
31 against Sam Houston. I think App State's defense is better than Sam Houston, so I think that A&M will score around that 30 mark there. But App State, I don't think they're putting up more than 18, 20. So I think the 54 is what I have, under 54 there. And then just quickly the rest of them. I have a large slate this week. Washington State plus 17.5 against Wisconsin. I don't think Wisconsin's 17.5 points better than any.
I agree with that pick a lot.
Absolutely.
They run it forever, so that always runs clock. So it's always safe, I think, to keep it within 2 touchdowns there. So plus 17.5 there, plus 4 for Virginia at Illinois. Illinois, they lost to Indiana. Indiana sucks. And I think Virginia has a really good quarterback, so they should be able to keep it within at least a field goal. I think they win outright. Mizzou, K-State, K-State minus 7.5. Mizzou sucks. UNC,
Whoa.
UNC minus 7.5 at Georgia State. Their offense just looks insane. UNC's does, and I don't think Georgia State can do the same thing that App State did to their defense. So UNC, USC minus 8 at Stanford. USC.
That's going to be a great game.
Yeah, I think they're insane.
You think it's going to be close?
No,
yes.
I think that USC
Stanford hates USC.
I was going to. I think USC. I would tease that into a double.
Yeah, the only
16-point spread.
The only issue is USC always struggles against Stanford for some reason. Like
that's what I'm saying. It's such a they hate each other.
But you have a guy that's never been associated with USC now coaching them.
Yeah,
so
and Caleb Williams is a god at quarterback, so that's good. Mississippi State, Arizona over 59.5 because Mississippi State has a crazy offense. Their quarterback should be in a Heisman talk as well, but they're not good enough. And I think that's it. Let me just make sure. Yeah, and I have some like money line parlay, but it's just a bunch of like favorites all parlay together.
I do have one more college game, but I'm saving it because it's my lock of the week. So
cool.
MJ, do you have any other college games?
I actually have one that looks fun this week looking at the lineup now. I'm not really touching college this week because of this bet that I'm about to say here. I think a fun parlay would be every team in the top 10 wins this week. I know, Justin, you think BYU
like just outright.
You just said BYU would beat Baylor, right?
Yeah, that's who I have.
Yeah, but I think just looking at the games, a fun parlay would be just all top 10 teams win. I don't see anyone losing. However, I would not touch the spreads after what we just talked about with Bama and everything. But I think that'd be a fun parlay. And also, I just haven't seen enough yet because so many teams have played cupcake teams so far.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm avoiding college like heavily until probably week 4. And then also another thing I learned last week watching this is I will not bet on Penn State whatsoever this year.
I won't either because they are
so weird.
Team.
Our backup quarterback looked phenomenal, and then 6 receivers drop passes that were in their hands.
Is it that Aller guy, right?
The true freshman? Yeah.
Yep.
Like I don't understand why Clifford's still playing.
Because the thing is, though, Clifford is either
he showed great moments.
I was actually but you know what you're gonna get.
Mm-hmm. Right. I was talking about this with one of my friends the other day. I was saying, is Clifford he's either the worst best quarterback in college football or the best worst college football quarterback? You know what I'm saying? He's either really good for being a bad quarterback or he's really bad at he's like the worst best quarterback there is.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And then what really surprised me last week was Singleton, the new running back. I didn't realize he was the number 1 running back of the class and that he came out of Reading. So it's like, we know what we're going to get with Clifford. I think if they end up losing
60 times,
if they're like 3-3, 6 games in, I think Clifford hits the bench and we see what this true freshman can do. But again, we know what we're getting from Clifford.
Sweet. Yeah. Cooper Kupp is only 0.4 away from reaching his projected score for me this week. Nice.
Nice. I think Clifford, I think they probably ride it out with him this season because they know at least what they're going to get with him on the other side too. Like he's likely not going to lose you any games either. I don't know, dude. His interception problem could definitely lose them games. True. Yeah, he could lose
He's
a couple
turnover machine.
I think that Penn State's in that weird spot where like
And
you're going to lose to the Ohio States and the Michigans of the world. You're going
I
to
think
beat
this
up
will
on
be
the
the
other
first
teams.
year
and-
where I truly don't like every year. I think we can pull one of those games, and we usually do.
yeah,
I don't see us. I definitely don't see us beating Ohio State. I think Michigan
And
rolls
Michigan's
right over
tough.
us.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're
like I don't.
tough.
And I also think this is going to be the first year in a while that the fall off between the top two teams and the next good one it's similar to the SEC
in the
was.
Big Ten. Oh yeah,
Was like,
I agree.
Last year you had Georgia and Alabama, and then the
Alabama.
next good team was. I don't remember who it was.
not Cincinnati. Cincinnati made the playoff, but they weren't that good.
Yeah,
No, he's
but I'm
talking
saying, like
SEC.
within
Oh,
the
SEC.
conference,
Oh,
within
God.
the
yeah.
conference, because like last year at one point there was 7 teams
Kentucky?
in the Big Ten, and there was 7 Big Ten teams in the top 20.
Yeah.
Like they were decent top to bottom, but now I think we're just like the SEC where it's Michigan, Ohio State, and then everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't think there's the way Iowa looks right now. I don't think there's a third team.
Also,
I
is Cam
am
Akers
so
just
angry
not
about
playing
Iowa.
tonight?
Yeah, I guess not.
What?
Like
Oh,
Henderson's been taking all the snaps.
Which
at
I
running back.
almost bet on him. No, he's playing. He has 2 rushes for 0 yards, but Henderson started.
Oh my god.
Oh,
all right.
Henderson did start.
Well,
And-
let's get into our NFL
and
games
real
boys.
quick. Josh Allen
Yeah.
is 17 for 20, so he's only thrown 2 incompletions, and 2 of them are interceptions.
but the one
well,
interception.
the one was
wasn't his-
absolutely not,
Not
his
his fault. No,
Yeah.
it got ripped out of
Yeah.
that guy's hands.
That was McKenzie just did not hold on. All right, the 3 NFL games. The first one, oh boy, Steelers at Bengals. Bengals favored -6.5, over under 44.5. Okay, I'm just going to get this out of the way. I hate this. I hate that we have to open up the season in Cincy. I hate that Cincy's good. I hate that I don't know what the Steelers are even going to look like. It's just, this is the weirdest year for me because it's the first time in 18 seasons I have to look at a new quarterback and I have no idea which Mitch Trubisky is going to show up.
with
if it's the good Mitch
with no
Trubisky-
arrest record. Good for you, Kev.
Funny.
Finally.
With the if the good Mitch Trubisky shows up, he's got a lot of playmakers he can throw to. If it's not, we're going to get all the turnovers and not be able to hold on. I don't like taking the spread either way in this game, so I went with the over 44.5. I do think Trubisky at least finds a few of these guys to get enough scores that with whatever Cincinnati does, you can hit that over. I do very unfortunately think the Bengals win this game. That's a really tough opener for Pittsburgh, but I'm holding out hope, but I'm going to go with the over here, 44.5.
And then just so everyone else knows, Justin, myself, and Ryan all have the Bengals at -6.5.
You didn't though. You just changed it.
That's because I had Steelers there, Kevin. I didn't realize I typed
know.
it in wrong.
Yeah, I saw Steelers minus
Yeah,
6.5.
It
and I was
said
like,
-6.5. I didn't
that's a
realize I
crazy
typed in
tease.
Steelers. I didn't realize I typed in
thousands on
Steelers.
this.
Yeah, no, I think the Steelers will be the worst team in that division this year, and that's with Deshaun Watson not starting for Cleveland.
I
Yeah.
don't think we're worse than the Browns, but I could see it.
I think the Bengals, yeah, I think they roll in this one. I don't think Pittsburgh secondary is that good, and I think Jamar Chase and T. Higgins will just go off. And Joe Burrows, I don't see them as a
Unless they can
Super
get
Bowl
to Burrow.
hangover team. You know what I'm saying? Like some teams they come off the Super Bowl and Super Bowl
But think
loss.
about
And you're
this,
like,
I
Jason.
don't think they're going to be a hangover team because nobody thought they were supposed to be there.
TJ Watt,
yeah.
Miles Jack, and Cam Hayward. If they can get to Burrow, it might be interesting.
They're gonna have to get to him. a
People
shit,
forget we
you know,
added
a
Miles
lot.
Jack, dude.
Yeah, Miles Jack is a covered linebacker. If they have him spread 5 wide, he's not going to be able to do anything except
Yeah.
tackle. But
No,
Yeah,
I think
Ryan
the
also went Bengals -6.5 too.
I think the Bengals come out hot though. Like I said, last year they weren't supposed to be there. That was just as much fun a run for Burrow as when LSU won the championship.
yeah,
Like we're not supposed to be here. We were supposed to lose all these teams. We're young. We don't know this. I mean, last preseason, Jamar Chase couldn't catch a football.
couldn't catch a ball. They said that the NFL ball was too different than the college ball.
He couldn't
He
catch a
didn't
football.
like an NFL ball, and then everyone was making fun of him, saying he was going to be a bust. And now he's like maybe the best receiver in the league.
Yeah, all right.
I think this Kev. I think if you
Think
say
you're
it
in
out
for a
loud
long
with
one.
me, it'll be okay. We'll just call it a rebuild year right now.
No, I know, but see, I know that. Like, I know that this is as close to a rebuild year.
But my
as I've
thing is,
ever
like,
seen.
then why are you starting Trubisky? Like, get Kenny the reps.
No,
They probably don't want
here's
to get
why I
him
agree.
killed.
Yeah, that's why I agree with starting Trubisky. I don't mind putting him out there as kind of a field dummy to get wrecked by some of these defenses and not let Kenny Pickett die early. Remember with Ben, Tommy Maddox got murdered in like game 2 of the 2004 season, and that's what prompted Ben to come in. If that's how it goes, I mean, obviously I don't want Trubisky to get hurt, but if that's how it goes, that's fine. I don't want to do what the Browns do and throw all these rookie quarterbacks in and watch them get demolished and their confidence goes to nothing. So,
well,
yeah,
and the thing is too, because we haven't really been able to talk about the NFL. Think with Pittsburgh though, it's weird what they decided to do in bringing Mitch in and then also drafting a first round QB. I think they probably should have just done one or the other. Like bring Mitch in or draft a first round guy. Because right now, like Mitch is going to play.
What have we talked about the last 5 years? I've been saying it since 5 years ago. I was like, we need Ben's heir apparent so that he can mentor this guy.
Yeah, now this guy's learning under Mitch, which like I don't think Mitch is a bad.
Justin, how many games do you think it'll take until Kevin's screaming to fire the coach?
The thing is, it's going to be.
I'm saying it now.
Yeah, we don't. I don't like Tomlin either. So like, definitely that. But I don't think that he's going to be screaming for Kenny because it is that rebuild year. But like that's where I kind of wish that they would have just waited, went 4-13 this year, and then had their pick of like the 4 quarterbacks that are coming out of this draft that are better than Pickett. Like
I still think Kenny Pickett is a very pro-ready quarterback. I'm not conceding that point yet. I think he showed really good signs in preseason. Yes, it's preseason, but he also had a great camp. They said he's got a lot of good things to show.
Comfortable in that stadium.
Yes, very comfortable.
Like there's nothing
new
to him. There's nothing. The only
thing
thing that's going to be different, which is a huge thing. I'll admit this. The game's going to be much faster, but everything else is the exact same. How he gets ready, how he practices, where he practices.
I think I'm just
all is the same.
I'm just concerned that he had a single good game or a single good season. I mean, in college.
So did Joe Burrow.
So did Trubisky.
Yeah. But
there's been plenty of guys that have just turned it on for a year.
I don't think that you want to draft Trubisky in the first
round. I love
Trubisky
coming out of UNC. I really
but I'm saying if you had to redraft, you wouldn't draft Trubisky in a first round of any type of draft. Like that just it wouldn't happen.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If Kenny Pickett's ceiling is going to be Trubisky, you don't want to draft him even in the first.
Give Trubisky this at least. This is his first team with like actual offensive weapons to play with.
It's definitely the best offensive weapons he's had.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. So maybe he'll show us the good Trubisky. I don't know. Depends. We'll see.
Complete. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Packers -1.5 at the Vikings, over under 47. I love the over in this game, Justin, so much. 47 points. I think both these offenses go crazy. I'm not wild about either of their defenses. So I think it's a shootout the whole way.
How do you see the Packers offense going crazy?
It's Aaron Rodgers. I don't care
what. Who's he throwing it to?
His receivers. I mean, he even admitted
it doesn't matter. He did ayahuasca,
right, but it's Aaron Rodgers.
Whatever he wants.
Yeah, but that's fine. But who's he throwing the ball to? No one.
Alan Lizard.
He's out.
Randall Cobb.
Romeo Dubs. Anyone he wants. Christian Watkins.
Yeah. He'll throw it to himself. No, I'm going over 47 here. And I think the Packers also win for what it's worth.
And I think the Vikings are sneaky, maybe going to win that division.
Like, they absolutely could.
Kirk Cousins is quietly that's what I love. So Amari Cooper last year called Dak Prescott Black Kirk Cousins, and everyone went like nuts. And they're like, "What are you talking about?" If you put their stats side by side from the same years that they're in the NFL, they're like nearly identical. Like Kirk Cousins is not bad, and they have Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen coming back.
You can do the same exact. I got an argument a couple of years ago with someone, and I proved to be right. They both stink. Andy Dalton and Cam Newton have the exact same career. Cam Newton has one run to the Super Bowl and an MVP. No, the rest of the numbers are.
Yeah, the passing.
Even with that season included, they're identical.
Yeah.
He had one rising season and then never did anything ever again.
That was a crazy
and
season.
Got destroyed in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. Justin has always been a Cam lover, even though Cam has not, even though he hasn't been good at all.
I just loved that was like, I think I'm trying to remember, when did he come out of school? Because I want to say that's when I was like getting really into college football.
I remember we all watched that Super Bowl at the 40-8 together. I remember that very well.
Yeah. That Auburn season. was like
did. Oh, yeah.
insane.
We did. Yeah.
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 But yeah, I have the over as well. I think that I'm leaning more towards Minnesota. I think if Aaron Rodgers can give us 14 to 17, I think Minnesota can give us 30.
Yeah.
Or 35, depending on what we need.
MJ.
What?
What do you have?
What?
Sorry, I was looking up the Andy Dalton thing.
What?
Oh, I got the Vikings on the money line. I think the Vikings are a way better team than the Packers. Vikings have a new coach. I think a lot of things are going to go right there this year.
Ryan,
And I think the
agrees with you.
Packers are going to have a massive fall off because he has no one to throw the ball to.
Yeah.
I can definitely see that.
Ryan
too.
agrees with you. Vikings money line is his pick. And our last NFL game, Bucks at Cowboys. The Bucks favored -2.5, over under 51. I've got Bucks 2.5 here. I never trust the Cowboys. I don't care if they're at home. The Cowboys will always be the Cowboys until they prove to be otherwise. The Buccaneers, why would you bet against them, especially when it's under 3 points? Hammer this line. Give me it. Bucks 2.5 for sure.
Josh Allen touchdown pass, by the way,
Nice.
to Isaiah McKenzie, who's on my.
Oh,
bench.
by the way,
What are you gonna
just
do?
to circle back on this, ready? Cam Newton, completion percentage, first career, 59%. 32,000 yards, 194 touchdowns, 123 interceptions. Andy Dalton, 62%, 35,000 passing yards, 226 touchdowns, 135 interceptions.
So
Andy
better,
Dalton had some
better
sneaky
passing
decent-
stats.
Yeah.
But
Andy
what
Dalton wasn't
Andy
terrible.
The
Dalton's
rushing-
problem was
rushing, though.
they couldn't win a playoff game. That was their
No,
problem.
no. Yeah. He actually was a good quarterback.
who
Yeah.
was he throwing to? In was
Well, he
that
had
still
AJ
Chad
Green.
Ochocinco or
He
no?
had AJ Green for a lot of those years.
AJ Green, yeah. Yeah,
Early
yeah.
on, he did have Chad Johnson, right? Like super
Yes.
I
early.
think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was he there?
That's
in
what I'm
late in
saying.
his
When I got
career?
to arguing with someone, they're like that Cam Newton deserved a shot over Andy Dalton because Andy Dalton got picked up by the Cowboys that year. And I'm like, they have the exact same career.
Mhm.
Again,
Yeah.
he had his one great season, but I mean, look at the numbers. Andy Dalton's better across the board.
The
Yeah.
Red Rocket.
The red Rocket.
Red Rocket. What a great nickname.
I have Bucks -2.5 too, but I'm afraid like this seems like a game that the Cowboys actually win. Normally they're better at the beginning of the season. They're better in these weird primetime games where you're like, oh, they beat Tom Brady, kind of like the favorites maybe in the NFC. And then you're like, okay, like maybe they're actually good. And then it gets to the end of the season and they're losing to the Giants and the Eagles in week 17. And you're like, oh, they actually
I
suck.
think the Cowboys are going to have the exact same problems the Steelers did, was it 2 years ago? They will play to the level of their competition.
Mhm.
That was a huge issue.
They actually, I think
the
that's
year
not
the Steelers
even.
went on that huge run. Any
Yep.
garbage team they played,
Mhm.
you didn't recognize.
We
who was
either
out there.
lost or it was so close.
I was just like, what? How do you blow out? I forget who. I think the Rams.
We did that when we had Antonio Brown and when we
Yeah,
had
like,
the Killer Bees.
I think
we did that too.
I think a big thing's going to happen here. I think the Cowboys defense is going to annihilate the Bucks offensive line.
Their line is so hurt.
It's so bad. It's so bad.
And Tom Brady's getting a divorce. So there's
Yeah.
Wait, is it a legit?
or like that's the rumor is like
Kevin,
he was
never
out.
skipped training camp. Like
Yeah, he
that,
was
ever.
away from the team for like 2 weeks,
Yeah.
and they're saying that.
Well, I mean, I
Giselle's
know she moved
mad.
out and stuff, but
Yeah, she's like mad about him going back to football because he spent 2 weeks with his kids and was like, yeah, I'm going back. I'm going
I
back.
mean, they
It's
still have the
terrible.
offensive weapons, but I mean, last year he had the quickest release time, I think, of any quarterback in the league. And
Yeah.
he's going to have to be even faster this year, which I don't see how that's humanly possible. So
The-
I took the Cowboys money line.
but it is Tom Brady, so
And the
Yeah.
one thing
Yeah.
is, Mike Evans
God's
is back.
nephew's pretty good.
They don't have Godwin, but they got Julio Jones. Like that has written all over it. I know he hasn't been good in like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah, but
That
it's
has
been due to
Tom
injury,
Brady
not
written
because
all
he's
over
bad.
it. Yep, Tom
Right.
Brady's gonna make.
he
him
was
into
the
a
best wide
monster.
receiver in the NFL for
Yeah,
a
when
couple years there.
I mean, he got that deal, 62 million fully guaranteed or whatever it was. He's not been good because he's bad. He's not been good because he couldn't play.
Yeah.
Because he's
Yeah,
been
he's
hurt.
hurt.
So you
if you
got
wanna-
Evans, and
you
he's
wanna
going to be the
prop-
third. He's going to be the third receiver on that team, which is even scarier.
Yeah, once
Yeah, if
Godwin
those three
comes
guys
back.
are healthy, that's wild.
If you want a good prop, it's I think Julio Jones over like 550 yards this season, and apparently in his contract he has an incentive at 600 yards. He gets like an additional like $5 million or something. they're getting him that 600 yards. He's getting it.
I could see Julio Jones having 500 yards in 3 games.
That's what I'm saying. Like if he has like 2 or 3 games of like
But-
90 to 100
man,
yards,
the
like,
Cowboys defense, like Parsons coming into his second year, I think he has the ability to destroy Brady.
the Cowboys defense doesn't scare me. Parsons does himself. So like he could change the entire game, but I think that they're going to give up some points. I could even maybe lean towards the over, but I don't know. I don't trust the Cowboys offense too. Like this offseason's been crazy. Like Amari Cooper's not there anymore. So like
they
now
got
CeeDee
they got
Lamb's their
nothing.
best.
The Eagles got more in return for Rieger than
For
they
Rieger,
did for
yeah.
Cooper.
Yeah.
And
So,
Jay,
like,
do you want to remind Justin how wrong he was about Jalen Rager? please?
Oh,
it's yet to be determined. Now they're on the same team. Wait till they're
Yet
lined
to
up
be
next to each other.
determined. I don't want to hear it. He's with
Jefferson
the
has,
guy
what,
you
30
should have taken.
Jefferson has 3,200 yards in his first 2 seasons.
Yeah. Rager has like 32 yards in his first 2
Oh.
seasons.
Justin,
Dude, when that video
that-
surfaced this year of the Vikings war room, when they're like, "Wait, they didn't take him," they're just like, "They took Jalen
Yeah.
Rager."
no.
But how
like,
many
when you,
how many
and, they-
muffed
and you were
punts
like
does Justin
celebrating,
Jefferson
and Anthony Cole texted the group and goes, "What are we doing?"
Yeah.
I was just, and then we sent our Daigle Whiteside to the Seahawks. Like, what are we
have? We
doing?
sent both guys, and we got good.
And
picks
he's
for
going to
him,
be a
though.
stud now. Watch him be a stud in Seattle.
But no, I like Howie though. Did you see his conference about it? He finally admitted he was just like, I wish I could have that pick back. And he's like, it taught us, which if you look at our drafts after that, like our draft this year was like near perfection. And he's like, what we learned basically was we're not going to draft anymore for like what our specific need is. We're just going to draft best player available because
What a crazy thought.
yeah, because he was like Jefferson coming out, which was I thought too. Jefferson was looked at way more as a slot receiver, and we didn't need a slot receiver. We needed someone on the outside that could get downfield. And so they pick Rager over Jefferson, and then it turns out that Jefferson's perfectly fine on the outside, and
He's
Rager's
a
not
big,
fine
tall
anywhere.
receiver that can run fast. Yeah, we
Yeah.
could use him.
well, boys, Ryan also went -2.5. So now let's get to our locks of the week, boys.
Oh wait, real
I-
quick, do you have any other NFL? I thought
No.
you did. No,
Wait, hold on. Maybe I do. Let me look. Sorry.
I'm trying to remember. I'm
Uh,
going back to your thing here. Oh yeah, you do.
I have
You
the
have
Bills and
one.
Rams over 51.5, and then the 49ers -6.5, which also is my lock of the week. And I'll give that now my lock of the week. And it's because they're playing the Bears, and Trey Lance is going to go out and prove why he deserves that starting job. And I think the 49ers are a lot better than the preseason rankings are saying they are. And it's the Bears. What more lock could you want of a team going against the Bears having an under 7 line? I'm taking it.
Yeah. And so I have my lock is Packers Vikings over 47. My other NFL game though that I'm looking at that I was thinking about for my lock was Ravens -7. They're playing the Jets, and the Jets have elite Joe Flacco going against them. Or going for them, I mean. So I think the Ravens can easily win that by 2 touchdowns, but who knows?
I could see that not happening.
Joe Flacco revenge game against the Ravens
Against
Yeah.
the Ravens? Yeah, could be.
could be. That's why
Is
I
it
didn't
in
put it as my
Baltimore?
lock. No, it's in New York.
Oh.
I think.
I'm lock of the week. I'm taking the Raiders +3. I think the Raiders are going to be so much better. They are also my futures pick from 3 months ago, Super Bowl winner. I think
Dang.
I think their offense is so dynamic that they're just going to outscore
You're not the first
everyone.
person I've heard say the Raiders could be a Super Bowl
Dude,
contender this year.
they're stacked on offense.
You don't think that
Yeah.
the Chargers that like, dude, you know the Chargers got, which again, this offseason's been crazy, Khalil Mack for some reason. So now they have Joey Bosa and Khalil
Yeah.
Mack.
I don't know, man. I think first off, Devontae Adams is the best receiver, probably still in football. I think Jefferson's catching him, but okay, you can go with
Renfro,
you got Renfro and
catch God.
Renfro, Waller. Why just draw a blank? Devontae Adams, Jacobs is still your running back, and then Derek Carr actually finally has confidence, and the guy he's throwing to is his best friend that he's
Yeah.
known forever.
Offensively, they should be good.
Yeah,
And
they're-
defensive, like Mac Crosby's good too. Like they have some good pieces on defense.
Yeah,
as well.
when that trade happened, I mean, last year they got off to such a great start, and then obviously the coaching situation fell apart. and that killed
Yeah.
him. And that's the thing that the people don't realize about Carr too. How many different head coaches and offensive coordinators has he had now since he got
lot.
that contract extension?
Yeah.
Like the poor guy's never had any consistency.
Some weird fits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ryan's NFL lock for the week is New York Giants, Tennessee Titans under 43.5, which I think that's a pretty good lock too.
Might add
actually.
it to my card.
I think it could be under 20, honestly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
both those teams are pretty beat up. And
The
I don't think
Titans
they're gonna
got
score a lot of
much.
points.
The Titans got much worse.
Yeah, it's
Thanks
pretty
for
bad.
AJ Brown.
Oh,
Justin, what is your college lock for the week?
College was BYU -3.
BYU -3. Mine is also the BYU game. I have the over 53.5. I think that this game definitely soars above that points. And I agree, Justin, it's gonna be a fun game to watch. MJ, what's yours?
I'm going to regret saying this. It's Texas +20.
That's crazy.
Look, I love that you bet that game. I will stand behind you and ride with
It's
you on
Texas
that game.
+20. The hype,
But bro, I don't
hype
know
train,
how that's a lock.
The Rieger train is here. Hop on. The hype train is here. It's +20.
Oh,
Oh,
right.
when they
Ryan's
lose
is-
by 40, I'm going to be furious.
Ryan's is Central Michigan -5. Who are they playing?
Is it SEMO? I thought it was Southeast.
Oh, well then, okay, duh. Yeah, all right.
I want to say
yeah.
it's SEMO.
If it's SEMO, then
me
they're
see.
gonna win by like 14.
My favorite part of last week was seeing teams play that I did not know were colleges.
No, I'm dumb. South
Yep.
Alabama.
Still, I like it.
But
Sammy
Central
-5.
Michigan, they just put up 44 against Oklahoma State,
Yeah.
who's like a good team. So
I know they screwed that line for me.
yeah,
Yeah. All right, boys. Well, that's
The
great.
Chippewas.
The Chippewas. So yeah, good luck with your slates this week. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll have money in my account. Maybe I won't.
Ooh.
I'll talk to my bookie.
going to deposit more.
Also, your bookie did mention also letting him know 4 minutes before games start is
That's what I.
Yeah, it's pretty
saying.
tough.
Kevin's always
I-
like,
I-
"Can you put in blah blah blah?" I'm like, "No, I can't."
the best is when he bets soccer. And I'm trying to find the team because soccer, it doesn't say like win, lose, or money line. It's like
Yeah,
wins over
Right.
here,
Draw.
win for this team's
yeah.
over here. It's like what are we
Yeah.
doing?
yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah, I will try to be better.
He
about
texts
that.
you at 4 a.m.
He texted me one time at 11:25 for an 11:30 game.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you doing?
it's definitely not gonna
And
happen.
then I didn't respond fast enough. I was like, I'm driving. I don't know what you want me to do here.
Pull over.
Why don't you just bet on some shady offshore betting site?
Well, no,
Because-
Missouri
because
missed
no.
it by 1 vote getting the sports book. Your house voted it down by 1 vote.
It's
This
it's
state, I'm telling
it's
you.
closer than like they missed like abolishing slavery by 1 vote too. They're just behind the times on everything.
Ryan, please go ahead and edit that out.
No,
We're gonna
don't edit
we're
it.
gonna go ahead and sign off here before Justin says anything else that's absolutely abhorrent. So we'll see you guys next week and good luck.